Hi guys, welcome to my vlog. My name is Doris Dulo, and as usual, I'm back here to do a review of a latest series or documentary series called Afrobeats. Now, I was a bit excited to be able to watch this because I am pro watching things that are created for Africans by Africans. That's my motto. I'm always excited to watch such certain things, but I never could get around it. So yesterday I managed to watch the first episode, and I said let me start. I thought maybe I should do a review of the whole series, but then it's quite chunky and that would take a lot of time, so I've decided to be doing it bit by bit. Any chance I get to actually watch the series, I'll be putting down notes and putting out a video immediately, just so I can be able to share with you what my thoughts are. Now, I was so excited to watch the first part of the series because I was hearing P Square. P Square was my high school crush. That was back in, I think, 2000 and I was in high school 2005 to 2008. So I think I started hearing their songs around 2007. They had really beautiful voices, and on top of that they were quite handsome. So I'm sure all the ladies felt the same way. At least most of them during that era felt like these guys were just, they had this sultry voice, this romantic voice that can make you like soften your hardened heart and make you say yes. So that hooked me in, because now I was interested in knowing what this group is about. Excuse me. Oh, this is time. That hooked me because I was interested in knowing about these cute little twins. These cute, handsome twins. I saw how Afrobeats came to pass already within the first episode of this series, because they mentioned now, because they are giving now examples of musicians in the Nigerian and Ghanaian industry, and you can see a lot of influence from the Black Americans. From the Black Americans, and personally I can relate to them. I wanted to do this video yesterday, but I think as fate would have it, today I was just in a mat and I was listening to Tupac, Ashanti and Ja Rule, and Missy Elliott, and I can say the same type of hip-hop influence. When I was growing up, people that we would listen to as Africans were the Black American, the hip-hop rappers, Akina Tupac. Those are the people that we were listening to, and we loved their music. And so I can see why Africans, when they started out, they wanted mostly to do hip-hop. And what I can say is East Africa musicians also started the same way, because now our musicians during the time when we were listening to hip hop were mostly Akina Nazizi, Waire, Nonini, what was his name? Then there was Prezo. They were all doing hip hop, and so it's interesting to see the story of how Africans graduated from imitating Black Americans doing hip hop now to doing something more African, something more we. Because even if we try to imitate the Black Americans, that's their style. They're Africans just like us because they came from us, but that's their style. We can never do it the way they do it. We can never beat them. So why not just be us, we as Africans, and say our own and sing in our own way? The funny bit about the interview of Peter and Paul is that now they bring the scene when they said that people were saying that they will one day break up. And this interview was done long time ago. I don't even know how long ago it was, which year it was, where they were dispelling rumors that they are never going to break up, that is bad belay or whatever. As in, it's just people fermenting stuff. And like as we speak today, they had already broken up and they've separated, and they're all singing their own songs. So it just goes to show that even if you come as twins, you came alone and you will die alone. There's a challenge that I really got when I was watching the documentary, and that's the challenge of them documentary mentioning DJs, singers, and the people they've interviewed. And it kind of comes across like maybe the target audience for this documentary was mostly for West Africans, because West Africans would know those musicians, but some of the musicians that the Nigerians and Ghanaians might know, us East Africans do not know them. So I was struggling to find out, okay, this DJ, I've never heard of this DJ, this musician, I've never heard of this musician. The thing I wish they would have done a bit more was to give us a background. Whenever they introduced a person to speak on the revolution and the evolution of Afrobeats, then they should tell us that, oh, this is so and so, he does this and this, he started out doing this, and then now he's doing this, and then now they can now give us like now what their knowledge of how Afrobeats evolved, or how music in Africa evolved to become Afrobeats. But now we just kept on seeing, okay, I just kept on seeing people appearing on the screen, DJ musicians that I have no idea they even existed, and they're speaking and you don't know where it's starting from and where it's ending, because first of all, you don't even know who they are, so that is what I would have said, because now then it looks more like something which only a West African would know. And when you're dispelling information, it should be information that you dispel, that anybody from any walk of life, anybody from East Africa, from South Africa, from West Africa, from North Africa can just jump in the middle and they know this is what's up. But here I was like blinded. I don't know what's going on. Like, can somebody help me? Like, I wish they could just I wish they could give a background. And not only that, because they alternate, they let somebody, like for example, if they're interviewing me and allowing me to narrate the evolution of Afrobeats, I'll say 2 sentences, then they shift to the other person, to another person, and they say 2 sentences, then they shift to a third party, they say. So by the time they shift it back to me, the people who are watching have forgotten who I am. So I wish every time there's a person, there should be like a line at the bottom that reminds the viewer that this is so and so, and this is what they did or what they are doing, because then at least then you are able to know, okay, this person is speaking on which authority and what is he saying. When he's speaking from a DJ's perspective, then this is actually what he means. So that was the challenge that I was getting as I was watching this docu-series. Then there's some musicians that I saw that I could also recognize. For example, Naito, 10 over 10. I love 10 over 10, 10 over 10, 10 over 10, chickena. I liked that one. Then I saw Dark Green. I don't know who that is. Dark Green. DJ Kasibe, I don't know who that is. Ayo, the 2 boys in black, like I mentioned, I don't know who that is. DJ Jimmy Jet, I don't know who that is. There's a lady that talked about her journey as a musician, I don't know who that is. Like I was seeing stars. producer called TY Mix. Crickets. Yeah, then I had Wizkid. Oh, I was like, oh, okay, I know Wizkid. Yeah, I loved his songs especially. Then Tony Nwakolo, I didn't know him. Actually, knew him through the show, but I liked the way he brought up the aspect of the explanation of how he started Yes Media and how his main aim was how he was able to get the bank to invest in music, and his main aim was for him to create like this, what I understood, like the brand culture, which is like almost like the celebrity culture, to sell the people more than the music. And I think that's why Nigeria, for example, have a strong celebrity culture, because of that. He says that he didn't make enough money, but I think if he's the one who's pioneered and started that brand culture, then I think he really did a good job, because now, they are far ahead when you compare to like East African music, because there's that celebrity culture of selling the person more than the music, and the people actually going out there to actually buy their music and all that stuff, and also to support their own for concerts and all. And so you find that people can actually be able to survive on music. So I think in that regard, he really succeeded in that. Then there's SARS on the beat. At least that one I know. How I know him was because of the song Sound It on Wizkid.
SARS on the beat. Wheezy. I wanna see you shake. Hey, come Jogodo. Hey, I don't Jogodo. Say the party no be conto. Say baby girl, I wanna see you move. Come Jogodo.
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah, I heard about Fuji music. Personally, it was the first time I was hearing about this Fuji music, and it sounds more like maybe like traditional Yoruba music. I don't know, could be wrong. I'm just speaking as an East African. So they talked about this Kakobi Chicken song with SARS on the beat, and Reminisce. So personally, I've never heard of that song, but then now when I heard that song, now I kind of now started now thinking, okay, this is now leading from hip hop, is now graduating to something that sounds more like Fuji music, and Fuji music was sounding more like, I think I could hear some Yoruba words here.
Oh, ye rappers, I've moved on to greater things. I will see you in a jiffy. Thank you. Alpha 1827765. Report your location. SARS on the beat, AK Nakademus. Holla. Oja. Il est foyer. Movement. One more Big Mitch. Damn. Mon Larry Hoover. Mon Naoya. Ondobi Woofa. Kalolo Niru. Kalo Faso. Let us see Kibu.
That's then Mastercraft. I know him. I like him. Then Pato Ranking. I know him. I also love Stonebwoy. Stonebwoy is my favorite Ghanaian raga musician, and Stonebwoy just comes as a representation of raga. Also, we as Africans were listening to a lot of raga. I remember listening to Sean Paul, Tioke. Yeah, so we as East Africans listen to a lot of raga and reggae, and yeah, Morgan Heritage, all these other musicians, Bob Marley, steer it up, do. Anyway, I love music. I really do. I love music. Which is such a shame because, I listen to a lot of Nigerian music. And to be honest, in this documentary, in this first episode, it gave me a lot of headache because, first of all, some of the musicians that were there, I never ever heard of them, And so it's so frustrating to be introduced to a musician and you've never heard their song and they're talking about something, you're like, oh, okay. First of all, who are you? Then what are you saying? It's headache. It's much easier when you've already heard their songs, then you know why they're speaking and why they're saying such and such. I didn't know Shank. And I heard he did a collabo based on that interview. He did a collabo with Akon. I'm guessing Shank is somebody that is really, really well known because from the interview, now Ayo asks him, or insinuates that Shank now created the pathway by which Burna Boy could be able to pass through, and perhaps they sound alike, which I totally disagree. Okay, based on the snippet of video that they showed on the documentary, I was like, no, they don't sound alike. Burna Boy has a very heavy voice, like he's, as we know Burna Boy, we are from East Africa, we know Burna Boy. Burna Boy is, when his hair was still short.
Shaking them all faster, shaking keep it okay, shaking them all faster. Namotilo, jo wa lese mi o. Namotilo, jo ti wa lese. Shaking keep it okay, shaking them all faster, shaking keep.
That boy was he was handsome. Burna Boy and Shank are two different musicians in their own right. That's just my own view. And they all came to fulfill their own purposes. And that is that. So what I just wish the producers could have done is what I said, like at least remind us every time they bring a person, even if they are bringing them 3 or 4 times in the screen, the name and what they do, because it's not only Nigerians and West Africans. It is not only West Africans that are watching this, or Nigerians and Ghanaians that are watching this, but East Africans, and some of us don't know all those musicians that are mentioned. So we need to actually be reminded the names and what they do so that we can be able to follow and flow with the story. Otherwise we are blank. And some people seem like they're obvious. They are, even if you put the name and what they do, they seem obvious, but sometimes we need like a background. Like I wish they added in, other than the people saying it, as in 3 or 4 different people saying 2 sentences each. I wish they had one narrator throughout also to like connect the story from this to this to this, because otherwise it seems like disjointed segments, each just combined into ones, and you don't know where is the start to from, what's the start to, what's the end, like what is happening. So that's just my only wish. I'll watch the other episodes at my free time. I found it very difficult to watch personally, mostly because of that disjointment that I've talked about and not being able to follow who's who, So I found that difficult, but because I knew at least a few musicians, 3 or 4 people mentioned Mastercraft, Burna Boy, Wizkid, P Square, Saz on the Beat. at least I knew those people. Then it encouraged me to continue watching. But yeah, that's just what I wish they would have done. Yeah, and for that I'm not gonna rate it because I'll rate it badly as an East Africa because I didn't understand, but I'm sure there are people who understood, especially West Africans. Even my partner is West African, so I'm sure if it was up to him, I think he would rate it like 8 or 9 out of 10 because he was damn interested. I remember he was even calling me to ask me as in he was watching it and then it disappeared. So he totally enjoyed it. As for me, I was floating like a fish in the water. I was not understanding what was going on. So that's why I'm not going to rate it because I'm sure West Africans will rate it very highly. But for me, I found it very difficult to watch. I'll keep on watching in my free time when I'm bored, and I'll come back with my own reviews of each episode. Thank you and goodbye.